So, starting again on Valheim. Not played for a little while now. At least not aside from the kind of build videos that I've done. That being said, they were a long time ago at this point. And my plan is to do a bit of a kind of more proper playthrough and try and incorporate a pretty epic build along the way. I'm not really sure exactly what is going to become of it. So I think it's just going to be a kind of on-the-fly creative sort of experiment. We are pretty close to the coast already, which is great, because that means a couple of things. One, we already know we're at the northern limit of this part of the world, and it also means that we can get a load of flint. There we go. So, let's start exploring around a little bit. I won't go too far at this point, primarily because we can just focus on getting Eikthyr out the way really quick, which is of course the first boss, which is the boss within the meadows area, which is, as you can see on the map. So we'll try and progress through that pretty quick, just like I said, get a lay of the land, not try and settle down anywhere just yet, at least nothing that's going to become our permanent residence. So yeah, we'll just kind of continue collecting on, try and do some hunting, so obviously we need some leather scraps and leather to get us going at this point in the game. So find some boars, find some deer, get some armor crafting, get the weapons crafted that we need, spear and a shield, bow. Bow will enable us to take on some of those pesky deers that run away. And we'll generally just try and keep in the meadows, like I said, until we get Eikthyr out of the way, because the meadows are a much safer place to be. So, I do quite like these sorts of, I don't know what you would call them, like a monolith sort of rock land features that you seem to come across quite often in the meadows in Valheim. I'm not sure if they're related to the treasure that you can find in the meadows. I know that some of the other rock formations, which are kind of in the shape of Viking longboats, they have treasure underneath them, but these don't, as far as I'm aware. So I'm going to put this down as a marker, let's give it a question mark, as a potential build spot for at least one of the elements of the epic build that we want to construct, which will be some sort of large settlement, maybe with a kind of handful of buildings, large farming areas, that sort of thing, some defensive positions. Might be a lot for one player to achieve, but we do like to build some pretty cool stuff on this channel. So we'll come back to this at a later point. Let's carry on getting out of the way of the early game. But we're quite nice and close to a black forest as well, which is good. Which will obviously be super useful for progressing into the second area. So we have our first beehive. So to save me from taking too much damage. Let's just break this thing apart. Get that to fall apart for us, so we don't have to attack it and get stunned. That is an easy access to honey, which is a really high stamina food at the start of the game. It doesn't last very long in terms of its effect, but easily accessible and replenishable, which is handy. There's a bit of copper right here. You know what, let's just mark this on the map. Good to keep track of these things. There's even some carrot seeds. Let's grab those bad boys while we're here. Keep away from that at the moment, but good to get those key resources that we will need soon. Let's just get them under our belt already while we're here. You check out this little tomb here for some easy skeleton remains. And let's get out of here because we are pretty much at night time now. I don't want to get attacked by a big group of baddies, so let's keep well out of that. Just want to try and get some flint while we're down by the coast. So here we've pretty much managed to find the east side of the island, at least to a degree. It may well be that this is quite a fragmented island, because I can see land over towards the kind of northeast. So whether or not we can actually get over there, at least not all of it, because I think there's a mountain over there. So we'll have to see how far around it connects, but we are quickly stopped in our tracks again by some more black forest, so a lot of dangerous territory at this point. Just look for last bits of flint, if there's anything. Now that it's night time, we are of course have the cold debuff, and probably need to find somewhere at least for a short while to camp up. Let's just get this beehive, and then we will find somewhere hunker down, do a bit of crafting, figure out the plan. Right, so we're super close to the sacrificial sort of stones at the start of the game, and I found a nice little settlement here, which I think would be perfect to get a little fire going. Slap down a little workbench and just prepare up just a little bit, just so we've got a tiny bit of shelter at least to be able to use the workbench, and we can start crafting some of the bits we need. So, flint spear and a wood shield, just as a good go-to. Crude bow, and then a hoe, just because we'll need that when we start building later. So, these are the key essentials. Ideally, we craft the chopping block expansion, just so that we can upgrade a few things, maybe utilise a bit of our deer hide, because we can make one piece of leather armour with that 6 hide we've got. Got any easily accessible wood? There we go. Don't really care for tearing down trees just yet. So let's have a look. Get the upgrade. There we go. Let's put on some leather trousers. Cover up our decency. There we go. And at this point we're pretty much ready to go and fight the first boss. just wait out the night before we go and do anything. Could also do a bit. Right, and as it turns day 2, I've done a quick bit of fixing up of this place. Just wanted to get a little roof on, just somewhere we can come back and recharge, get re-rested, store anything we need to kind of keep safe for now. And I guess a good spawn point, though we are of course right near the start of the game. I guess this has become our little base of operations just for now. Somewhere we can come back, do a bit of cooking, and just prepare ourselves. So another useful thing about having a place where we can begin to operate out of is we can start putting down some beehives, just so we can start generating some of that honey that we need. We've got enough to last us a short while for now. Let's keep that as a stamina option. And I'll quickly get a chest made so that we can just store a few basic bits, and then we'll go and bring the fight to Eikthyr. So our floor's in, we've got some storage, got a nice bed, nice place to sit, improve our comfort, and a good rested buff. Solid 12 minutes at this point in the game. I think we should now chuck down everything we don't need and head on out to face Eikthyr. Get our first boss out of the way on day 2. It's not a bad start at all. Do a bit of hunting as we go. One of the things I really like about the spear is the ability to throw, run in, pick it up and attack. Really handy weapon. Definitely recommend. It's also great at damaging the early stage enemies, like the grey dwarfs, the greylings, trolls. It's super effective against them. So a good item to take in the early game. So it's a bit misty for the battle, but can't be waiting for good weather. So let's get it on. Nearly there. Just keep out of the way, don't want to take too much damage. A couple of hits already. Doing okay in terms of regenerating health. So I think we should be alright. And the last hit, there we go. Well done. There it is. To day 2, and our first Forsaken, first boss, has been defeated. I think I'm going to spend the rest of the day just trying to do a bit of hunting. Just try and gather a few more bits of leather, a bit more leather scraps, just so we can get slightly better gear for venturing into the Black Forest. Probably go home, rest up at the end of the day, and then head on in. Approaching the end of the day pretty quick now. Starting to get dark. And we're not too far away from the dark forest in some of the areas we're venturing through at the moment. So, I'm going to head back to our little camp. Again, do a bit of crafting. Managed to have a pretty successful hunt. Found quite a few deer, got a lot of leather, deer hide, a lot of leather scraps, a lot of flint from the coast and the lake. So, head back, do a bit of crafting, prepare for day 3, where we will venture into the Black Forest. So the night's not too far from being over now. I've been working away just to get a few bits sorted out. So I've got a leather set of armour, not the cape yet, but the cape's not particularly useful at this point. Just an extra bit of armour value, so up to 6 armour at the moment. I've made a flint axe, upgraded a couple of extra bits that I've got, and of course I've made some antler pickaxes, which is going to allow us to start collecting some of the ore. I've also cooked a load of boar meat, which is good for health, a load of deer meat, also good for health, and I'm going to take honey with us, as well as a couple of maybe some raspberries. Actually no, we'll leave it at honey because we'll hopefully find some yellow mushrooms soon once we get to the Black Forest. So, day 3, we will head off and start working towards the next part of the map, the Black Forest. So we're nice and close to one of the Black Forest areas, so I'm going to eat a bit more food so we're pretty well prepared for whatever we face. I'm not sure how big this one is, but hopefully big enough that we should run into some burial chambers, maybe a troll cave or 2. Not that we maybe want to fight trolls just yet, but we definitely want to get some surtling cores from some burial chambers. Try and get some more carrot seeds to start working on some farming, better foods, and let's see how we go. Some more carrot seeds, lots more carrot seeds, it's a good start. Keep an eye out for the rocks which have the veins running through them, which show that they are filled with copper. Of course we can collect some thistle, which is good for future recipes for food. Let's get rid of this grey dwarf following us. Got these towers we need to look out for, which have skeletons within them. Skeletons not being weak to spears, but weak to blunt damage. Let's press on. There's a troll cave there. Copper ore vein just here. And there is a troll with it. So we do need to watch out for that, because if we get too close he will try and follow us. We don't want to be contending with that just yet. So let's maybe grab a couple of bits of tin just while we're here. Smacking my way through these guys. So these little barrels, pretty handy to know. If you break them, you get some pretty okay loot. And what do we have here? We've found the location for the Elder. And it doesn't look like he's too far away, but he potentially could be across another island. So it's the sort of thing we might want to make a portal for. Just to save the kind of constant travel backwards and forwards. But what we'll do at the moment is keep exploring this place. Maybe I head this direction towards the elder a bit and see exactly what's going on. Keep exploring this place, look for some more landmarks. Gathering as we go, and we've just found a burial chamber which is protected by skeletons. We find lots of skeletons inside, and in here we'll find surtling cores, which we do need for smithing. It will give access to the smithing crafting stations where you can smelt and create charcoal for smelting. So I like to mark everything on my map just because I'm super anal about things. So let's investigate what's inside this place. So I mentioned earlier about bringing honey along. I've obviously nearly run out, but this is what I want to start using instead. You get loads of these things throughout the Black Forest in all the dungeons you go through. Pretty good for stamina, as you can see. Not quite as good as honey, but you do get a lot of these. So where you've not got quite as much honey at the start of the game, we will amass a pretty significant amount. Oh my god, there's a ghost and a lot of skeletons in there. Right, let's get ready to fight these guys. There's also a spawn point in there, I believe. Let's go. Let's see if I'm getting attacked by the ghost or the skeletons first. Right, that's the ghost out of the way. Let's cut through these guys. There we go. Whew, that was close. Right. So this is a good loot room, this one. Lots of little bits we can pick up. Some bones, some amber, which you're going to sell for gold. I'm going to start dropping a few bits that aren't quite as crucial at this point, just so I can actually start picking up the bits we do need. As you can see, picking up the surtling cores gave us access to the smelter, charcoal kiln, which is what we need for smithing. We've obviously got the elder location already. We found that pretty early on, which is pretty lucky. And we will keep working through the dungeon. Here we are, back at the safety of our little hut. Bit of honey to collect. First, let's repair our things. Empty our backpack from some heavy loot. And take rest and reflect on what we've managed to achieve. And so we're into day 4. It's just ticked over to the next day. And we're going to need to probably just mine a few rocks just about the place to get some stone, so that we can start building the stuff we need for smithing. Which is going to enable us to unlock better armour if we choose to go for the heavier armour. More importantly, the bronze weaponry and the tools that come with it. Like a new pickaxe if we choose, new axe for felling trees, and potential for ships, or at least new ships. We've not yet, of course, used anything, but the basic raft in this game is quite an unimpressive beast, and we can possibly unlock the next seafaring vessel to try and get to the Elder, which I think is probably not a bad investment at this point. But at some point we need to start thinking about what we're going to do with building. The enticement of the rock formation we found earlier is that it's pretty close to the coast, so we could make a little harbour, which I think would really work quite nicely. Give us kind of a landscape to work with inland, and then coastal access for further travels, which I'm sure there will be many of, until we can place down portals and the like. So, we've now got what we need to make our smithing areas. Is it going to let me place this anywhere? There we go. All we need now is some wood. Let's get some wood to get charcoal on the go. I think I did actually burn a bit of food earlier, so I do have some charcoal. One at least. So let's get some charcoal going. And I think we have a little bit of tin. We do need to go and get some more. However, this would at least mean that we can unlock a few recipes just from the tin ingots that will be given from the smelting process.